CK, the Raisin Man.
Be right. All right, back here with the Cincinnati Bengals, man. Last year 9-8. Disappointing season for the Bengals. This is a team that has high expectations. They signed all their offensive players. The ones that they want to keep. Higgins, Chase, Burrow, all these guys getting contracts. One guy didn't get one though, and that's Trey Hendrickson, and he's another player griping here in the AFC North, another edge rusher. What's going on with the AFC North and the edge rushers, man? Keep your edge rushers happy, AFC North, man. You know what I'm saying? Pay your guys, man. But yeah, they went out and gave all those guys a contract, did not give Trey Hendrickson a contract. So that is one of the big storylines going in here with the Cincinnati Bengals, man. But it starts with that guy on the screen, Joe Burrow, Joe Cool, and the thing with Joe Burrow has been health, really. Can he stay healthy? Because when he's healthy, he's very good.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, they got him at 9.5. Wow. They got the Bengals projected at 9.5. 14th on the strength of schedule ranking. So, almost in the middle. But what's your thoughts, man, on the outlook here going into this season? And talk a little bit about the situations there with the Bengals, man, and Burrow and Hendrickson and the company.
Cincinnati Bengals, man, was a crazy team last year, man. This is a team that could put up 40 points and lose 45-40. Their defense was that bad last year in the beginning of the season. But when they got, some of their issues together, Joe Burrow got a little bit healthier. Joe Burrow played at an MVP level those last, 8 games. Like, he was going absolutely ape shit. Like, that was some of the best quarterback play I've seen in a long time, man. He was getting busy out there, but they re-signed their receivers and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. What did that cost them on the defensive side? Because it wasn't the offensive side that was hurting, but I can see why you want to keep those two receivers together, both making over $30 million. So that's crazy. But they're going to have to get their defense together, man, if they want to get back to Super Bowl contention, man, because their defense let them down tremendously last year. They lost games that they shouldn't have lost, man. You got guys like Jamar Chase, man, can catch it over the middle, take it to the house. T. Higgins, big body, 6'4", speed, can go over the middle, catch everything. Joe Burrow was just lighting people up last year, as you see, touchdown after touchdown. And the score is 28-28. And, they lose these games 42-38. Stuff like that, man. It's crazy with this Bengals team. But Joe Burrow has to stay healthy. Look at that. Touchdown after touchdown, 35 up. 27-6 the Chargers, and they brought that back. And I think they might have won that game. But it's up to Joe Burrow and his offense, man. Will they have to score 35 points to have a decent season this year? Because their defense is giving up 30 points a game. We'll see. But, Coach, what you think about them, man?
This team is really about their offense. About their defense in the end. Offensively, over 6,000 yards in total yards in terms of offense. Passing, 4,600 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. I mean, that speaks volumes to me. You know, your offensive ranking was 9th, and your defensive ranking was 25th in terms of yards. That's crazy right there. I mean, Burrow, was amazing, like you said, Pat. With the amount of yards that he passed for, and then Chase with his receiving yards. You had Chase Brown, also roughly almost 1,000 yards in the rushing attack. So, there's some type of production there. So T. Higgins again, roughly 900 yards in terms of reception. Mike Gesicki, almost 700 yards. From the tight end position. So this comes down to their defense and what have they done to help improve their defense. So that to me is what it boils down to. So that's about it.
And we will see as far as what the Bengals did do this offseason to improve, man. But first, we're going to take a look at some of the pieces that they lost here. Not a crazy list, man, but Sam Hubbard retiring, Sheldon Rankins, veteran D lineman, going to the Texans, offensive tackle Trent Brown to the Texans as well. So Texans taking some of Cincinnati's pieces. Alex Kappa going to the Raiders, the guard there. Jermaine Pratt also joining him, going to the Raiders. Then you got Mike Hilton and Von Bell in the secondary. Akeem Davis Gaithers as well, linebacker, going to the Cardinals. But which one of these losses do you think is going to affect this team the most going into this next season?
Just speaking on the Bengals, edge, Sam Hubbard, that's going to hurt them a lot. Sam Hubbard, he was older, but man, he was solid, bro. He was solid for that team, opposite of I always forget his name, the other edge rusher that they got over there that they're not signing right now, but
Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson. Those two guys, they were a pretty good tandem when their defense started playing well. Sheldon Rankins is going to hurt them a little bit. Davis Gaither is going to hurt them a little bit, and Jermaine Pratt. And Trent Brown and Alex Kappa, let's hope that the Bengals don't get back to those offensive line woes that they've had the past 3 to 4 years, losing 2 starters amongst the offensive line. That hurts as well. And Khalil Herbert was a very good backup running back, man. That dude's, I think that's an unappreciated running back, man. He was good with the Bears, and he was good with the Bengals last year, man. That dude, he's a solid number 2 option coming off that bench as a running back, man. He can give you some tough yards, but it's the trench play, man. Like, every one of these off-season things that we do in the trenches, man, it's like people don't care about the trenches no more, I guess. I don't know. But, Coach, talk to him, man. What you think is going to hurt them?
You said it. It's the trenches. It's the trenches. You got to be able to protect your quarterback, and you got to be able to stop the run and get after the quarterback. Very simple. You already have a bad defense, so Hubbard retiring, Sheldon Rankins, serviceable veterans, losing them. What do you do to replace them? So ultimately, it's the trenches for me with the Bengals.
Yeah. Let's look at what they did. Of course, you see the re-signings of their big top receivers. Samaje Perine signed running back, so they replaced Herbert with Perine here. Gesicki re-signing. Tanner Hudson also re-signing. Signed Lucas Patrick, offensive guard, and Cody Ford re-signing. So that's what they did in the trenches as far as the offensive line is concerned. Now they brought back BJ Hill and Joseph Osaya and Cam Sample. Signed TJ Slayton, D lineman, Oren Burks. And in the secondary, just signing one corner, Marco Wilson. He re-signs. on a 1-year deal. So they didn't do a ton, just mainly just taking care of those top guys. But talk to me about which one of these moves you think is gonna have the biggest impact, man, for this team. Because I'm looking at this list and it's just not impressive to me. I mean, you had to sign Chase and Higgins and all that. I get it, but this Bengals team just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
looking at this addition list, man, they just prioritize keeping that offense together. So are you prioritizing winning, or are you prioritizing keeping the butts and seats to look at your offense? That's what you're going to have to see with the Bengals and the way they approach this season. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Gesicki, Tanner Hudson. Yes, you had to re-sign those guys if you want to keep that excitement going. But Samaje Perine being your number 2, I don't see that as being a good thing. Joseph Asai, he was there last year. Was he a major impact on them last year on defense? No, I don't believe so. Cam Sample, just another guy, to be honest with you. Glad they re-signed B.J. Hill. He deserved this money. B.J. Hill is nice. Now, they're going to have to see if T.J. Slayton can come and be that opposite guy, B.J. Hill, on that defensive line, to see exactly how they can stop the run this year and stop these teams for just going up and down the field against them. But as far as, like, handling their business on the defensive side of the ball, I think they just prioritize keeping the band together on the offense and trying to outscore people. That's what they're going to do this season based on this additions list. But, Coach, what you think, man?
Most impactful, it's going to be impactful not to help in a sense because it's the defense. Yes, you re-signed guys on your defense, but you already had bad players. Well,
that's what I'm trying to say, Coach.
You had
every side. You
bring back players who are on a bad defense. So, is it now? Here's the question: is it schematics? Because that could be a possibility. It could be the scheme that you're not putting these players in the right position. That's why I didn't want to say bad players, but you're re-signing players who are on a bad defense. So either they're not good players or it's your coordinator and the scheme that you guys are running. So that leaves me questioning because, yes, you signed Chase, you signed Higgins, you signed Gesicki, you needed to bring them back. But if your defense couldn't stop a tissue from flying down the field,
facts.
What is this going to do? Is it going to be more of the same thing? So, and it leaves me questioning because, with Baltimore and even Pittsburgh, depending on Aaron Rodgers, this team may not be as good. They might have a great offense, but they just might not be a good team.
So your D coordinator Al Golden, coming over from Notre Dame, is who's going to take over for.
That's a good hire.
Lou, was it Amarillo? Whoever got
Lou
fired,
Amarillo, they fired
last
mid-season.
Year. In the midseason, like you said. So
that might be their best key addition.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it a buck.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the best key addition because he can coach some defense, man. He's had Notre Dame's defense legit for like the past 4 or 5 years. So that's the best key addition right there.
Yes.
And he's not on the list.
Yeah. But let's take a look at what they did in the draft. Now, this is something that we ain't talked about yet. Shamar Stewart, their first round draft pick, number 17th overall. And as of today, July 6th, this recording, he is not signed his rookie contract yet. So this, again, what do are you prioritizing anything about the defense that you, other than bringing that good coordinator in there? Hopefully he can make some magic work, man, because you starting off wrong. The chemistry, you need chemistry on defense. These guys are missing OTAs, missing training camps, mini camps, different things like that, man. But just want to throw that out there. Shamar Stewart, though, when they do get him in camp, though, I think it is a good addition. I do like the pick. Demetrius Knight also, they picked second round. Dylan Fairchild, offensive guard out of Georgia, hopefully can come in and help that offensive line. Barrett Carter, linebacker out of Clemson, and offensive tackle Jalen Rivers out of Miami, and then Taj Brooks, running back out of Texas Tech in the 6th round. But talk about this draft class, fellas, and which one of these picks that you like here for the Bengals?
I actually like this draft class. The Shamar Stewart, Demetrius Knight, Fairchild could definitely fill in one of those offensive guard spots. Barrett Carter was underrated coming out of Clemson. Jalen Rivers, you're going to have to get him trained up out of Miami. There's something about those Miami tackles I just don't like. And can Taj Brooks stay healthy from Texas Tech to be that 1-2 punch? I guess a thunder and lightning with Chase Brown out there at the running back position. But I want to talk about Shamar Stewart and what the Bengals are doing with Shamar Stewart. Do the Bengals care about defense? You see what I'm saying? Like, all their defensive players, besides BJ Hill, there's like shiesty towards them. So do the Bengals believe that they could just outscore everybody? Because the way this offseason is looking, that's what they're doing. This Shamar Stewart cat could go back to college. You know what I'm saying? If they don't take care of him signing, you don't want to sign Trey Hendrickson. You're not signing your first round pick. It's in July. He's not signed. What's going on? These are guys that you're going to need to keep people from scoring 40 points against you. Like, seriously. Like, what are they doing over there? What is that front office doing over there in Cincinnati Bengals? They got players talking mad noise about their front office. So what are they doing over there? Do they prioritize defense at all? So you really think you're going to be able to put up 40, 41 points a game all season long? You know how much pressure you're putting on Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins? You know how much pressure you're putting on them cats? And then you play in a division that's called the AFC North. Defense is aplenty over there in the AFC North. So do you really think you could just go out there and just throw up 38 points on the Steelers and the Bengals? Now, you could probably do it against the Browns, but even the Browns defense ain't nothing to play with.
I don't think you just put up 40 on the Browns.
It's the reason why you put up 40 on the Browns because they can't do nothing on offense. Yeah. They can't do nothing on offense, so their defense is on the field 24/7. But if you don't have a defense to stop the Browns from putting up 20-some points, hell, that might be a tougher game than you think. So, this is an eye-opening thing about this Bengals team, man. What are they doing as far as on the defensive side of the ball? I'm gonna pitch it to my coach to see what he thinks about it.
I'm disgusted in the Bengals. I'm utterly disgusted in the Bengals because I get fans come to the game and they want to see offense. I get it. But football isn't about strictly offense. And first of all, if I'm a player in the league, I'm saying defensively, I don't even want to entertain Cincinnati right now. Because they're not treating their defensive players with the respect that is sometimes deserved. And then, okay, yes, you're bringing a new defensive coordinator, so new scheme. It's going to take a little bit of time. It is. I'm sorry, it is. I love Al Golden, and I love the hire. Pat talked about it. He might be the underrated key addition. But looking at this, and then what are you doing with Hendrickson? And now your number 1 overall draft pick, who's a defender, who, he can play. The kid is no scrub. The kid can play. You would want to get this kid in there. Now, Pat, I agree with you. I did like their draft. You know, you got some offensive linemen, you got some nice defenders in there. Didn't have a lot of draft picks, so you did the best you could. So respect there. But overall, and I've heard from other Bengals fans who have said that the ownership does not want to pay out a lot of money outside of what they're paying Burrow and Higgins and Chase.
That's what
And
it's
I'm
looking
sorry.
like, Coach.
I'm sorry. You're in the big leagues. This isn't Smorgasbord Tech in Division 3. You're in the NFL. Now, are you trying to win championships? Are you trying to build a championship program? You have to pay to play. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You gotta pay to play. And I don't mean it that other way that, you know, us guys that know about. I mean to play in the big leagues. I mean to play in the NFL. You have to pay to play. Heck, in all sports, you see that teams are shelling out a lot of money. So, and I'm sorry, I know you're making money. You can't sit here and tell me, oh, my books are in the red. I'm not going to believe that. What it's telling me is you just want to try and keep stuff in your pocket as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you keep doing that, and guess what? You're going to go back to the old Bengals, a laughing stock in the league, and you're going to lose Joe Burrow and Shamar Chase and T. Higgins because they're going to demand trades.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted in the Bengals. Just disgusted. And I've never been disgusted with any NFL team to this magnitude. I'm disgusted with them because they're wasting talent offensively that they have. Go ahead. You got it, man.
Wasted. Let's take a look at, man, the Bengals overall roster, man. Let's look at this defense and see how it shapes out now. Like they got like I said, Joseph Ossai, BJ Hill in there, TJ Slater Jr. On the defensive line, along with hopefully Trey Hendrickson eventually. And then linebacker, you got Demetrius Knight. He's slated to start. Logan Wilson and DJ Turner. Safety, Jordan Battle. Free safety, Geno Stone. Right corner, Cam Taylor Britt, and then nickel Dax Hill. I don't see a lot of depth either. I mean, we'll see, you know, if Stewart gets out there. But I mean, the offensive line, you got Orlando Brown Jr., Dylan Fairchild, Ted Karaskas, Lucas Patrick, and Amarius Mims. We talked about the skill position players. We talked about Joe Burrow and the running backs. You got Chase Brown, Zach Moss, Samaje Perine, and you drafted Taj Brooks. But it's about this defense, man. It's about this defense, and I don't see a defense that can compete in the AFC North or remember, they in the AFC. You in the AFC North, your division, but you got to go against Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and all these teams that can score points. The Chargers, they won't put up points. They can run the football. You know, you got teams to deal with. You know, the Texans, you know, Miami can score when they want to. You got teams you got to deal with. And you trotting out this defense, I mean, and you didn't put all that money into your offense. And where did you put into your defense? Yeah, you re-signed BJ Hill, but you don't want to pay Trey Hendrickson. You don't want to pay your rookie draft pick. You know, you didn't do anything in the secondary. Nothing. A nothing burger. Man, good luck. Good luck. What y'all think about the roster and the defense overall?
I'm with Coach. Looking at this defense, I'm disgusted because you know that's what you need. You got Demetrius Knight. Shout out to him, talking to him at the Senior Bowl, but he's not ready to start. He's not ready to start. I know he's not ready to start. Then you got your top draft pick is Shamar Stewart. You're not paying him. Your top edge rusher and Trey Hendrickson. You're not paying him. You didn't do anything to your secondary. That secondary looks like food. It looks like food out there. I don't have to talk about the Bengals offense. You know what they bring. You know their pedigree. This defense can hold them back again this year. If Trey Hendrickson is not playing, where's the pass rush? Will Logan and Demetrius Knight as your linebackers? Because you got rid of Pratt because you didn't want to pay him either. So you get rid of your top linebacker, your top edge rusher is mad, your top draft pick is mad, your backup edge rusher and Sam Hubbard retired. All your DBs are cooked food. Geno Stone is a little. What are you gonna do when he's not in Baltimore? I don't know, man. I'm with Coach, man. Go ahead.
Bad, man.
First of all, Shaquan, loyal, love you, brother. You know, Rutgers Scarlet Knight from Newark, New Jersey. So Howard Cross, another Jersey boy from Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Al Golden, respect to you, brother. I feel sorry for you, man. Everything about this team is about this defense. Oh, and don't let Joe Burrow go down for any reason.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I ain't even mentioned that. Jake Browning, man. God, Lord have mercy.
I'm going to say this. You got the fourth best defense in your own division.
Yeah.
The fourth best defense. Right now, their season, that's what I think about their season. That's what I think about their season. If the other three teams can be just competitive, the Bengals may be in for a long season. A long season. And you can talk about having the top offense, but can't wait to see their schedule.
Let's take a look at the aforementioned schedule. 9.5 for Cincy. They got the 14th ranked strength of schedule here. You starting off Cleveland, Jacksonville, okay, boom, boom. But then start to get a little tough. Minnesota, they can score. Denver, they can score. Detroit, they can score. Green Bay, they can score. Pittsburgh, we'll see. The Jets, Chicago, then you get a bye. That's tough. That is a tough stretch right there. And then you end off, you got Pittsburgh, New England, Baltimore, Buffalo, Baltimore again, Miami. Like I said, they could put up points when they want to, and you're going to Miami, Arizona, and then Arizona, Cleveland. Say you win those couple games, man. But 9.5, man, 9.5. I don't know, man. What y'all thinking? Over, under?
I'm actually gonna go under. I think they finished third in the division around 9 and 8. Because the way their defense is set up. And then you got Baltimore, Buffalo, Baltimore. That might be a 3-game losing streak right there. It might be. And then if you go on 3-game losing streak right there, what's to say you could go to Miami and bounce back? Miami can put up points with you, and their defense is better than yours. And that's sad. Let's say Miami's defense is better than yours. And you playing in Miami, so you don't even get the code. Because if they were going to Cincinnati, I would say Cincinnati, but you're in Miami in their backfield. And Pittsburgh ain't no slouch. Green Bay ain't no slouch. Detroit ain't no slouch. Denver ain't no slouch. Minnesota ain't no slouch. They could probably start off hot those first 2 weeks and beat up on Cleveland and Jacksonville, but then it starts getting real.
And it starts to get real. Real, and they're going against offenses. That's what I want to highlight here, because their offense going to score, but Minnesota can score too, and you ain't going to be able to stop them. You know what I'm saying? Denver actually has a good defense that can slow your offense down, and they can put up points. You know, they showed that last year. Detroit, we know what they could do. Green Bay, you know, they can score. Pittsburgh, you know, we talking about division games. You know, the Jets, we're going to get into the AFC East a little bit later, man, but the Jets might be a little sleeper team here. Chicago. They got talent over there. So you got to stop the other team. But coach, what's your thoughts?
I'm going under. And I'm going to say they might win 5, maybe 6 games.
Ooh, shoot.
And it wouldn't even surprise me if they get swept by Cleveland.
Ooh, damn.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah, that's very unpopular.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm sitting here, you just talked about it, you know. Let's say they do go split the first 2 games at Minnesota. At Denver, you're going to an elevated environment. Detroit, we know that, you know, they're tough. At Green Bay, you know, Pittsburgh, rival, it was always tough. You just talked about the Jets. What are we going to get from them? So there's a possibility they could win that, but they could also lose that. Same thing with Chicago. Pittsburgh, again, it's always tough. New England, okay, you might, depending, but New England is not going to be as easy. I mean, with Vrabel over there and things that they're doing over there.
That's for sure.
Baltimore, Buffalo, Miami. Can't even take Arizona lightly, because if Arizona is in a playoff hunt, they might be able to bring it. So again, I said 5, maybe 6 wins. Cincinnati, put egg on my face and prove me wrong. You got it.
That's a good way to end it, man. I'm taking the under as well. So I don't got no faith in them. I don't got no faith in them. I don't got no faith in the coach either, to be honest with you. Zach Taylor, I don't really believe in him. You know, definitely don't believe in his defense. And look, Joe Burrow, he could get hurt and you are done.
Yeah, you are done.
And it ain't like these quarterbacks don't get hurt. See, you better start investing in backup quarterbacks. Y'all paying these quarterbacks a whole bunch of money, and you ain't giving them no insurance. No insurance. You ain't thinking. But let's see if the Cleveland Browns are thinking, or what they're thinking about, man, as we can.